Well, um, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm checked out. I'm checked out. Like guys, I'm mentally checked out for the rest of the season. We're entering August 19th, and I'm checked out. Like, even though we haven't been doing the game recaps throughout the whole season, I know we just started, but I've been trying to be behind this team all season long. I went through the whole 12 game losing streak just like everyone else. Still fighting, still believing. Today I lost it. Whatever little bit of hope I had is gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone and it's not coming back. The most important series of the season, you lose. Coming into this series, the Marlins were 3 games behind the Phillies, and a series win was a must if they were going to keep themselves alive for the remainder of the regular season for playoff contention. And they failed to do so. They failed to do so, and it's too late. I don't even really have much to say. Yesterday it was the umpires and the lack of execution. Today it was just lack of execution and the lack of situational awareness. Me and Colin were talking about it, and he brought that up, and I can't disagree with him at all. I can't. I really can't disagree with him at all because this team, throughout the entire course of the season, has made the same mistakes over and over again. They're all mental errors, and they don't learn anything from it. They don't learn anything from it, and by the time they do, it'll be too late. If they ever do. This team is not smart enough. They're not composed enough. You saw how Victor Vodnik was acting yesterday, too. That just sort of sums it up. This team is not smart enough, and they're not good enough. They're not good enough, and they're not smart enough to make the playoffs. They're not. This is a team that is still raw, is extremely young, and it looks like they need more seasoning. They really do, because you can't tell me that after this game today that this team is serious, because they're not. They're not serious. These guys were 12 games above 500 in July last month. They gave that entire ground away. They gave it away like adults giving away candy to little kids during Halloween. They gave it away, and they haven't recovered. You could make the argument that that 12-game losing streak was the final nail in the coffin for this season, despite us still being in it. When that 12-game losing streak occurred, this team shut it off. They shut it off, and they really haven't been great since. They really haven't come close to being great since. And in a must-win situation against... I almost threw an F-bomb there. So, in a situation where you're playing against a division rival, a team that's ahead of you by a couple games for a wild card spot, you fold. You fold, you choke, and you basically die. You become a cadaver on the field of Citizens Bank Park. Citizens Bank Park is our graveyard. Truist Park and Citizens Bank Park are our 2 burial grounds. When the Marlins come to play in those two ballparks, it's time to arrive in black suits because we're going to a funeral. We are witnessing a funeral. This team is dog shit right now. And excuse my language, but there's no other way to put it. This team is absolute crap. They are disgusting feces inside of a nasty toilet bowl. You know? Like, I want to vomit. I want to vomit. This team sucks when it counts the most. They could win games when situations are not at their absolute highest, most urgent. They could win those games. But when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, when it comes down to winning the games that you have to win, they fold. They fold, and they can't blame anybody but themselves. They asked for this. Well, they didn't ask for this, but this is what they got for playing so poorly. This team is stupid when it comes to base running. The over-aggressiveness in base running is astonishing to me. It's astonishing to me. It really is. It is astonishing to me. I don't know how you could go through April, May, June, July, halfway through August, and still not learn anything about proper base stealing. Xavier Edwards got caught tonight, when he made the score 2-1, which was in the top of the second. Instead of staying at first, this dude decides to try to run for, the second base to get a double. And the ball doesn't even leave the infield. Does it? I don't even remember. I'm going to look at the replay. But it does not, I'm sorry, but it just doesn't, man. It just doesn't make sense. Yup, excuse me, it was in the top of the fifth. I apologize. I said the second. And it was in the fifth. Edwards basically hits a blooper, if you want to call that, into left center field. Brings home a run, but decides to try to get too cute. Instead of keeping at first, staying at first, he decides to go for second base bag and gets tagged out rather easily. It wasn't even close. Could have been, could have had another runner on second base. On third base, but instead you wanted to get too cute. You wanted to get the highlight. You wanted to be on SportsCenter Top 10 Xavier, and you ended up looking like a buffoon. So congratulations for that, Xavier. You lost 30 aura points. I don't care how good he's been this season. That is inexcusable. And Xavier Edwards, much like Otto Lopez, much like Javier Sonoja, much like even Jacob Marcy, these guys clearly do not know when to shut the switch off. They don't. How many games have we lost this season where you go, man, if he didn't try to steal that base, then maybe we could we could be in a better position than what we are now. Every game this team makes mistakes along the base paths. Every game this team sees at least one bullpen pitcher. Well, not every game. As of recently, it's been pretty good, especially in the wins. But you can't convince me that this team is good enough for the playoffs. They're not. They're not good enough. They're not. And that's just a fact. And if anybody has a problem with that, then you can leave. I don't care. I know Colin wants to be the bigger man all the time, and hats off to him. I appreciate that. Not me. Not so much. I'm going to call it as it is. You want to know why? Because I give no fucks. I give absolutely no care in the world. I call it as I see it. This team is not prepared. They're not mature enough to compete with the big dogs. They're not. They're not good enough to beat Atlanta, and they're not good enough to beat Philly, which is surprising to me because the Phillies aren't even that good of a ball club this season. Oh, but they have Bryce Harper. They have Bryson Stott. They have JT Realmuto. Okay, and you think this team's good enough to win a World Series? You think this team is good enough to even reach the NLCS? I don't think so. Not on my watch. I don't think so. This is a Philadelphia Phillies ball club that has one of its biggest stars, its general manager and manager butting heads all with each other. There's friction all across the clubhouse. And you can't beat a team like that? You can't beat a team that's having chaos in that clubhouse. I don't care how much talent Philadelphia has. I don't care. So you can sit here and say, "Oh, but they have Christopher Sanchez and Zach Wheeler and on and on and on." I don't care, man. Because names on a roster don't necessarily correlate to a great team. This Philadelphia Phillies team is extremely beatable, and they're not a great team. They're not. Their record might say otherwise. Their playoff position might say otherwise. This team is not good enough to get past the National League Division Series. I'm dead serious. Unless if they get a favorable matchup. This team ain't beating the Dodgers. This team ain't beating Milwaukee. I don't think so. Yet we can't show up and perform when the season is on the line. Michael Petersen, what happened today? We had a 3-1 lead in the 6th inning. Things were feeling good, and in comes Mikey, and for the first time in quite a long time, he stinks up the joint. He stinks up the joint. Blows the lead. I looked at the box score. He took the loss today, and he recorded his first blown save of the season. That crappy inning that Michael Petersen had awarded him a blown save. That is insane. I felt really good with Petersen coming into this ball game today because Michael Petersen has been really solid for us the whole year. And of course, because of our luck, one of our most dependable bullpen arms comes out and fails to do his job. Fails. This team is not good enough to win, man. I'm going to take my glasses off. My eyes hurt. This team is not good enough to win, man. They're not. They're not good enough. And the season's over. So for any of you that are still hanging on to hope, fine. But if you continue to do so, you will be greatly disappointed. I'm protecting myself from disappointment. I'm protecting myself from feeling any strong negative feelings, emotions, because it is not worth it. It is not worth my health. It is not worth my mental sanity, and it is not worth my emotional energy to get all worked up over a team that clearly isn't ready. They're not ready, man. They're not ready. This team is like the damn lasagna that you take out way too early out of the oven. It's still cold and nasty in the middle. The cheese isn't fully melted. The tomato sauce is still lukewarm. An absolute abject disaster. This team is not ready yet. This team is not ready. They're not ready. They're not. I don't know what else to say. I'm just gonna sign off. I don't care. This has been Justin Perez for the Sunshine Sports Podcast. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I have nothing else to say.